YouTube, this is OceanMirage34 here with the updated deck profile for my Dark Worlds. Alright, start off, we have 3 Graphas, staple, overall good card, main card of the deck, backbone, like, you know, dragons and Red Eyes Darkness. Alright. 3 snows, 2 is good, 3 works way better, and overall good card. Alright. 2 brows, pretty much is a free pot of greed. Gates, drag down, just free pot of greed. Alright. 2 gold, 2 silver, I mean level 5s, with cards that I run in this deck, never a dead card. Sets up good plays with sinking and Xing. And 1 beige. Unnecessary more than that. Unless maybe you're going control. Then control, you definitely go 2+. 2 Trance Archfiends. Very good discard method. Gets a card. It's a dark monster to your hand when destroyed. Just great card to have in the deck. 1 Battle Fader. It's an out. It's a fader. I mean, you don't need any more than 1. It's a very good card. Stalls for a turn, and you can win games with it. Raven. Discard method good. Good with Xing and Synchroing. Just needed for the deck. If you're running more than 1, you're doing it wrong. If you're not running any, you're doing it wrong. 1 Sangan, it searches out any of the other mentioned cards, and it's just amazing. Gores, it's same thing as Fader. It's mainly for, like, you know, first turn thing. Alright, now we move on to spell and traps. Alright, so main 3 gates. 2 would work fine. 3 is better because you can draw into it more. 2 DarkWorld dealings. 3 control, turbo, 2 drag down to the grave. Again, 3 control turbo. 2 MSTs. Pretty much your opponent's side's against you, most likely be Shadow Imprisonings. These cards stop them in their tracks. 1 Gateway to Dark World. Use it on your opponent's turn, or the only reason you would use it on your own turn is if you know you can go for game. That's it. Use it on your opponent's turn, because if you use it on yours and you're not going game, you can't summon any others. So, only use it on your opponents. If you use it on your turn, you're going for game. Heavy Storm stops plays. For the deck, almighty card destruction. If you ain't running this, you are doing something very wrong. Monster Reborn sets up very good plays. You take your opponent's monster, again, set up plays. They got a BLS you don't like engraved. They summoned it successfully. Take it, banish it for all you give. Book of Moon. Going up against, like, dragons, you want this in here, especially Disaster Dragons. They just shut this deck down, and you can get rid of any big monster, or, you know, save your own monster if you feel like it. DarkWorld Lightning. You don't need any more than 1. No, you just 1. This is a strategic, like, mindfuck deck. So, you know, 1 only. Dark Hole, staple, good card at all. Gets out of tight situations. Alright, moving on to traps. Solemn Warning. Good card. You don't have it, you're gonna get you're gonna be boned a lot. Dark Bride, same as Warning. You just gotta have this card in here. Stops plays, does amazing stuff that your opponent just won't see coming. Mirror Force stops opponent from just ramming you with everything they got. Judgment stops, and one Dark Smog stops just about anything. Anything like Arc or Christia, even though next format, the fairies are just dead. Just remove it. Nope, look, you don't get it. Or Sam, since they are not even close to dead. The most decks only run one Grandmaster, so if that thing goes to grave, banish it. Amazing. Alright, moving on to the side deck I have for this. Alright. So, these cards aren't in any order, so goes in match. You're running darks only, pretty much. So, you know, just, yeah. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I mean, the viruses don't really main them because you don't really know what you're going up against. Deck Devi, same thing as Eradicator. Chain Desi, it's a good card to have, especially against like Tour Guide decks and Rabbit. They may be able to call priority and chain the effect, but then you still get their plays going because they only get what, one Logi on the field or one Dulka. Skill Drain. It stops a lot of decks right in their tracks. Debunk. Again, Mirror Match, you want this card in there. One Neospatian Grand Troll, because, well, as I called it, Grand Troll, it just trolls over everything. Morphing Jar, like, okay, so, Infirmities are big, or becoming big, and you would want this, because it just ruins their card effects, because, you know, they need no cards in hand. Foolish Burial. I don't like maining this card. It does set up plays for Grapha, but I mostly want Grapha in hand, so I only side deck this thing. Chaos Trap Hole. I mean, it removes any lighter dark monster that is summoned. Curse Seal the Forbidden Spell. Very good. There's also the Spell Vanishing, which just sends every spell card of that name to the grave. Curse Seal, instead of sending it to the grave, it makes it a dead card, like they can't activate it. So that means your opponent tries top decking, instead of you helping them out, getting cards out of the into the grave, you got a dead card in hand. 2 DD Crows. Well, 2 is good because, again, Mirror Match stops it in the tracks. 2 Thunder Kings, gonna change it to 3 and a BLS. Also put in Light Imprisoning Mirrors, because, well, you're thinking, what are you, crazy, running, siding in Thunder King? No, thing is, you side out Snow, because you have so much draw power in this deck, that is just crazy. You side in the Thunder Kings and shuts down your opponent's plays. Standing and everything. Alright, so for extra deck, we have Magical Android. Good overall synchro, gains life points, and it's 24 5-star. I mean, come on, really? Dark Highlander. Neither player can synchro summon. Since this deck doesn't really synchro, it has synchros. Most of the synchros, if you can go for it, go for it. But this is if you're going up against, like, I know the deck is dead, but plants or something, like if you're doing traditional plant decks, it's just very good. It stops every synchro, and it's Inzektor Hate. Oh yes, that also reminds me, in the extra deck, or side deck I mean, there will be a final Eternal Rest. It's pure Inzektor Hate. Ancient Fairy, you got 3 field spells, and if you're going against something that's using field spells, it is very good to have. BRD, Black Rose, it's an encase type thing. Stardust, because it's a Stardust, it's a staple synchro. Dark End Dragon, easily set up with Raven and Gold or Silva, because it's an 8 turn, requires 1 non-tuner dark monster and any tuner, and sacrifice 500 of its attack points, send 1 card to the graveyard. And yes, it's a lot different from destroying it, so that means Zen Mines and Gotchi, goodbye. 2 number 17 Leviathan Dragons. Yes, they're just in here because I need to fill up this extra deck, and there's not really any good cards else out there. But I mean, it's just a good card to have in the deck. Number 39 Utopias. I run 4s. I run a lot of 4s that I can normal summon if, you know, I need to. And also, what should be in this deck will be, never mind, that'll be a different video. Alright, continuing. Number 12 Crimson Shadow. Either player's turn, it can't be destroyed. And with the level 5s I run, it's stupid not to run it. Adrius, it's just pure hate everywhere. Same with Tyrus, just pure hate. And finally, Wind Up Arsenal Zen Mayo. It destroys any 2 set cards. And your opponent's got 2 set cards that they're like hoping it wins games. Plain and simple. Alright, so that is my new updated deck profile for my DarkWorld. This is OceanMirage34. Peace out, YouTube.